A Business Quote Guide. Chapter 1. Wise Business Quotes. Ambition, Business, and Work in the Bible. The Bible basically says that work and business are good if you do them for the glory of God, but if you do them for selfishness and egotistical ambition, you're doing them for the wrong reasons. Ambitious people are praised on the one hand because they achieve things, but if their attitudes are arrogant and haughty, they always end up hurting other people, thinking they're superior, acting elitist. Idolatry of one's own ego is not a good thing. Let nothing be done through ambition or vain conceit, but in humility let each esteem others better than themselves. Philippians 2:3. The way of man is perverse and strange, but as for the pure, his work is right. Proverbs 21:8. Trust in the Lord, and do good, so shall you dwell in the land, and truly you shall be fed. Psalms 37:3. There is nothing better for a man, than that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also, I saw, was from the hand of God. Ecclesiastes 2:24. What does man gain from all his labor, from all his anxious striving and toiling under the sun? For all his days are sorrowful, and his work brings grief, yes, his heart takes not rest in the night. This is also futility. Ecclesiastes 2:22-23. In all labor there is profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Proverbs 14:23. He that tills his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he who chases worthless pursuits is void of understanding. Proverbs 12:11. The hand of the diligent shall rule, but the lazy will be forced into slave labor. Proverbs 12:24. The slothful man does not roast what he took in hunting, but the diligent man gains precious wealth. Proverbs 12:27. The Father, who without favoritism judges according to every man's work. 1 Peter 1:17. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to work it and to tend it. Genesis 2:15. In the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it were you taken, for dust you are and to dust shall you return. Genesis 3:19. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor, and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor the stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day, therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Exodus 20:8-11. If a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceives himself. But let every man test his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Galatians 6:3-5. I considered that all labor and every skill come from man's envy of his neighbor. This is also meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Ecclesiastes 4:4. Come to me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Matthew 11:28-30. What is a man profited, if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Matthew 16:26. Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. Better is a handful with quietness than both the hands full with toil and a chasing after the wind. Ecclesiastes 4:6. What is a man profited, if he gain the whole world, and lose his soul? Matthew 16:26. This one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and reaching forth to those things which are before, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Philippians 3:13-14. You shall not defraud your neighbor, nor rob him. The wages of him that you hired shall not stay with you all night until the morning. Leviticus 19:13. You shall not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy, whether he is of your brethren or of your strangers that are in your land. At day's end you shall pay him his wages, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor, and is counting on it, lest he cry against you to the Lord, and it be sin to you. Deuteronomy 24:14-15. By much slothfulness the building decays, and through idleness of the hands, the house falls through. Ecclesiastes 10:18. My beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, since you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. 1 Corinthians 15:5-8. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise. How long will you sleep, O sluggard? When will you arise out of your sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep, so shall your poverty come on you like a bandit, and scarcity like an armed man. Proverbs 6:6, 9-11. As vinegar to the teeth and as smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard to those who send him. Proverbs 10:26. The slothful man does not roast his game, but the diligent man obtains good things. Proverbs 12:27. The soul of the sluggard desires, and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made prosperous. Proverbs 13:4. The way of the slothful man is overgrown with thorns, but the way of the righteous is made level. Proverbs 15:19. He that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is a great waster. Proverbs 18:9. Slothfulness brings on deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Proverbs 19:15. The craving of the slothful will be the death of him, for his hands refuse to labor. Proverbs 21:25. The lazy man will not plow by reason of the cold, at harvest time he shall beg, and have nothing. Proverbs 20:4. The thoughts of the diligent lead to abundance, but everyone who is hasty is led to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. The drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. Proverbs 23:2. He that tills his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he who chases worthless pursuits is void of understanding. Proverbs 12:11. The hand of the diligent shall rule, but the lazy will be forced into slave labor. Proverbs 12:24. The slothful man does not roast what he took in hunting, but the diligent man gains precious wealth. Proverbs 12:27. In all labor there is profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Proverbs 14:23. He that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is a great waster. Proverbs 18:9. The thoughts of the diligent lead only to prosperity, but those of the hasty lead only to want. Proverbs 21:5. Do you see a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. Proverbs 22:29. He that tills his land shall have plenty to eat, but he who follows after foolish fantasies shall have poverty. Proverbs 28:19. I looked on all the works that my hands had made, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and, behold, all was meaningless, a chasing after the wind, and there was no profit under the sun. Ecclesiastes 2:11. Behold what I have seen, it is good and fitting for one to eat and to drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor that he does under the sun all the days of his life, which God gives him, for this is his lot, this is the gift of God. Ecclesiastes 5:18-19. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Labor not for the food which perishes, but for that food which endures to everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give to you. John 6:27. I have coveted no man's silver, or gold, or apparel. Yes, you yourselves know, that my hands have supported myself and my companions. I have showed you all things, how that in laboring you ought to support the weak, and to remember the words of the Lord Jesus, how he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Acts 20:33-35. Be not slothful in business, be fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Romans 12:11. He who sows sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he who sows bountifully shall reap also bountifully. 2 Corinthians 9:6. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, so that he may be able to give to those in need. Ephesians 4:28. Serve with good will, as doing it for the Lord, not for men. Ephesians 6:6-7. Study to lead a quiet life, and to do your own business, and to work with your own hands, as we commanded you, so that you may walk honestly toward outsiders, and that you may lack nothing. 1 Thessalonians 4:11-12. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that you withdraw yourselves from every brother who is idle and not living according to the tradition he received from us. For you know how you ought to follow us, for we were not idle while among you, nor did we eat any man's bread without paying, but we labored night and day so that we might not burden any of you. This was not because we have no right, but in order to make ourselves an example to you to follow. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, if any will not work, neither should he eat. For we hear that there are some of you are living in idleness, not working at all, mere busybodies. Now such as these we command and exhort by our Lord Jesus Christ, so that with quietness they work and earn their own living. 2 Thessalonians 3:6-12. If any provide not for his own, and specially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith, and is worse than an infidel. 1 Timothy 5:8. Listen now, you rich men, weep and wail for the miseries that shall come upon you. Behold, the wages of the laborers who have harvested your fields, which you kept back by fraud, cry out, and the cries of the harvesters have entered into the ears of the Lord Almighty. You have lived in pleasure and luxury on the earth, you have fattened your hearts, as for a day of slaughter. James 5:1-5. There is no iniquity with the Lord our God, nor favoritism toward persons, nor taking of gifts. 2 Chronicles 19:7. The thoughts of the diligent lead only to prosperity, but those of the hasty lead only to want. Proverbs 21:5. See you a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. Proverbs 22:29. He that tills his land shall have food in abundance, but he who follows fleeting fantasies shall have poverty. Proverbs 28:19. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not allow him to sleep. Ecclesiastes 5:22. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Be not slothful in business, be fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Romans 12:11. Whether you eat, or drink, or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. My beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, since you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Serve with good will, as doing it for the Lord, not for men. Ephesians 6:6-7. Study to lead a quiet life, and to do your own business, and to work with your own hands, as we commanded you, so that you may walk honestly toward outsiders, and that you may have lack of nothing. 1 Thessalonians 4:11-12. Listen, now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city, and continue there a year, and buy and sell, and make money. And yet you do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is like a vapor, that appears for a little time, and then vanishes away. Rather, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we shall live, and do this or that. James 4:13-15. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues gained dishonestly. Proverbs 16:8. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his own conceit. Proverbs 18:11. Be of the same mind one toward another. Be not high-minded, but be willing to condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. Romans 12:16. Behold, some that are last shall be first, and some that are first shall be last. Luke 13:30. See you a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope for a fool than for him. Proverbs 26:12. Let him that thinks he stands firm take heed lest he fall. 1 Corinthians 10:12. Wise men die, likewise the fool and the senseless perish, and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations, they call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless man, despite his honors, abides not, he is like the beasts that perish. Such is the fate of the foolish, and of their followers who approve their sayings. Like sheep they are laid in the grave, death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall decay in the grave, far from their dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. Be not afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased, for when he dies he shall carry nothing with him, his glory shall not descend with him. Though while he lived he was counted as blessed, and men will praise you when you prosper, he shall go to the generation of his fathers, they shall never see light. Man that is held in honor and lacking in understanding is like the beasts that perish. Psalms 49:10-20. He that is greedy of gain troubles his own house. Proverbs 15:27. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are like whitewashed tombs, which appear beautiful outwardly, but within are full of dead men's bones, and of all kinds of filth. Even so, you outwardly appear righteous to men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and dishonor. Matthew 23:27. Better it is to be of humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Proverbs 16:19. Better is a handful with quietness, than both the hands full with toil and a chasing after the wind. Ecclesiastes 4:6. In many dreams and many words there is also meaninglessness. Ecclesiastes 5:7. The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. Ecclesiastes 9:11. Woe to those who add house to house, that lay field to field, till there are no places left, that they may live alone in the midst of the earth. In mine ears said the Lord Almighty, surely the many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitants. Isaiah 5:8-9. The devil took him up into an exceedingly high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and said to him, All these things will I give you, if you will fall down and worship me. Then said Jesus to him, Get you hence, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. Matthew 4:8-10. What is a man profited, if he shall gain the whole world, and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Matthew 16:26. Whoever will be great among you, let him be your servant. Matthew 20:26. Woe to you who are rich, for you have already received your consolation. Woe to you who are full, for you shall hunger. Woe to you that laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. Luke 6:24-25. Jesus spoke a parable to them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room to store my fruits? And he said, This will I do, I will pull down my barns, and build larger, and there will I store all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, you have much goods laid up for many years, take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, You fool, this night your soul shall be required of you. Then whose shall those things be, which you have provided? So is he who lays up treasure for himself, and is not rich toward God. Luke 12:16-21. Behold, some that are last shall be first, and some that are first shall be last. Luke 13:30. That which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of God. Luke 16:15. Jesus said to them, The kings of the pagans exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But you shall not be so, but he who is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he who is chief, as he who does serve. For which is greater, he who sits at the table, or he who serves? Is it not he who sits at food? But I am among you as he who serves. Luke 22:25-27. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Colossians 3:2. If you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, do not boast of it, and do not deny the truth. This so-called wisdom descends not from heaven, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife are, there is disorder and every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. James 3:14-17. All that is in the world, the cravings of the sinful nature, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. 1 John 2:16. Inspirational Business Quotes 1. 640K ought to be enough for anybody. Bill Gates, 1981. A problem is a chance for you to do your best. A cookie store is a bad idea. Besides, the market research reports say America likes crispy cookies, not soft and chewy cookies like you make. Response to Debbie Fields' idea of starting Mrs. Fields Cookies. A strong, successful man is not the victim of his environment. He creates his life. A man is a product of his thought. Ability may take you to the top, but it takes character to stay there. Action is the key to success. Airplanes are interesting toys but of no military value. Marichal Ferdinand Foch, Professor of Strategy, École Supérieure de Guerre. All men who have achieved great things have been great dreamers. Anything in life worth having is worth working for. Andrew Carnegie. Attitude is everything. Be humble always and identify with the common man. Behind every successful man there's a lot of failure. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without one. Champions are made from willpower. Computers in the future may weigh no more than 1.5 tons. Popular Mechanics, 1949. Concentrate on your strengths instead of your weaknesses. Customers are people. Deliver more than you are getting paid to do. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure should make you stronger. Do not despise the bottom rungs in the ascent to greatness. Publius Syrus. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Theodore Roosevelt. Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. John Wooden. Don't let fear hold you back. Dwell not on the past. Enthusiasm is the steam that drives the engine. Napoleon Hill. Drill for oil? You mean drill into the ground to try and find oil? You're crazy. Rejection of Edwin L. Drake drilling idea in 1859. Enthusiasm, energy, and hard work. Your success is determined by hard work, persistence, and failures. Give me a man with no goals and I'll give you a stock clerk. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. He who hesitates is lost. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. He who wishes to be rich in a day will be hanged in a year. If you are in a hurry you will never get there. Everything that can be invented has been invented. Charles H. Duell, Commissioner, U.S. Office of Patents, 1899. Failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Failure is the tuition you pay for success. Follow your dream as long as you live. For anything worth having, one must pay the price, and the price is always work. Forget yourself and start to work. Great minds have purpose. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things. Great works are performed not by strength but by perseverance. Hard work is the price we must pay for success. He has achieved success who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much. He who has never failed somewhere, that man cannot be great. Hope is the mother of success. Don't walk backwards. I can accept failure, but I can't accept not trying. I couldn't wait for success, so I went ahead without it. The only way you are going to get anywhere in life is to work hard. Heavier than air flying machines are impossible. Lord Kelvin, President, Royal Society, 1895. I have traveled the length and breadth of this country and talked with the best people, and I can assure you that data processing is a fad that won't last out the year. Editor, Prentice Hall, 1957. I dream things and say, why not? I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. Thomas Watson, Chairman of IBM, 1943. If you are never scared, embarrassed, or hurt, it means you never take chances. If you can dream it, you can do it. Your limits are all within yourself. If you can imagine it, you can create it. If you can dream it, you can become it. If you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't know where you are going, every road will get you nowhere. If you don't set goals, you can't regret not reaching them. Yogi Berra. If you have no critics, you'll likely have no success. Malcolm Forbes. If you have the will to win, you have achieved half your success. In the middle of difficulty, lies opportunity. Albert Einstein. If you learn only methods, you'll be tied to your methods. If I had thought about it, I wouldn't have done the experiment. The literature was full of examples that said you can't do this. Spencer Silver, 3M Post-it notepads. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. John Quincy Adams. If you aren't making any mistakes, it's a sure sign you're playing it too safe. If you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. Go the extra mile for the fun of it. If people believe in themselves, it's amazing what they can accomplish. Empower your employees. A leader has vision. A man can succeed at almost anything for which he has unlimited enthusiasm. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. It takes as much stress to be a success as it does to be a failure. It's what you do for others. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Learn from failure. Love what you are doing, you will be successful. A man who walks alone is likely to find himself in places no one has ever been. May you live all the days of your life. Jonathan Swift. It's all a matter of discipline. The small decisions you and I make every day create our destiny. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambition. Kites rise highest against the wind, not with it. Winston Churchill. Leadership is a combination of strategy and character. Life is a series of problem-solving opportunities. Live out of your imagination. Make the most of yourself. Louis Pasteur's theory of germs is ridiculous fiction. Pierre Pache, Professor of Physiology at Toulouse, 1872. Make your life a mission, not an intermission. Most people give up when they're about to achieve success. Never turn down a job because you think it's too small. You don't know where it will lead. Men trip not on mountains, they trip on molehills. Motivation is food for the brain. Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. Henry Ford. Neither success nor failure is ever final. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. It takes a strong fish to swim against the current. It takes 20 years to become an overnight success. Eddie Cantor. Never, 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 never give up. Winston Churchill. New ideas are usually rejected. No man is ever whipped until he quits. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Nothing is so contagious as enthusiasm. One man with courage is a majority. Andrew Jackson. One sound idea is all that you need to achieve success. Napoleon Hill. 100% of the shots you don't take don't go in. Wayne Gretzky. One who makes no mistakes never makes anything. One's best success comes after their greatest disappointments. Henry Ward. Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Optimists are right. So are pessimists. Our business in life is not to get ahead of others, but to get ahead of ourselves. Our lives improve only when we take chances. Our greatest battles are with our own minds. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. Recognize a problem and turn it into an opportunity. Seldom does an individual exceed his own expectations. People rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. People who are afraid to fail can never experience the joys of success. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. Perpetual optimism. Perseverance is a great element of success. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Praise loudly, blame softly. Speak ill of no one and speak all the good you know of everybody. I would rather attempt something great and fail than attempt to do nothing. Private victories precede public victories. Put your heart, mind, intellect, and soul even to your smallest acts. Quality means doing it right when no one is looking. Real wealth equals ideas plus energy. Singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Leigh Brown. Smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. Get up. So we went to Atari and said, "Hey, we've got this amazing thing, even built with some of your parts, and what do you think about funding us? Or we'll give it to you. We just want to do it. Pay our salary, we'll come work for you." And they said, "No." So then we went to Hewlett-Packard, and they said, "Hey, we don't need you. You haven't got through college yet." Steve Jobs. Sooner or later those who win are those who think they can. Striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't. Stocks have reached what looks like a permanently high plateau. Irving Fisher, Yale University, 1929. Succeed best by helping others. Success demands singleness of purpose. Success is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. Thomas Edison. Success is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Success is every minute you live. Success is the process of living. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Success is how high you bounce after you hit bottom. Success is living up to your potential. Success is never ending, failure is never final. Success is not so much what we have, as it is what we are. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. Success is simply a matter of luck. Ask any failure. Earl Wilson. Success comes to those who dare to act. Success requires first expending 10 units of effort to produce 1 unit of results. Success is going from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. It is no feat to travel the smooth road. Inspirational business quotes 2. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. The ladder of success is never crowded at the top. The true measure of a man is not how he behaves in moments of comfort and convenience but how he stands at times of controversy and challenges. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. Success is the quality of the journey. Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make it hot by striking. Make yourself so valuable in your work that they need you. Success of life depends upon keeping one's mind open to opportunity. Successful leaders see the opportunities in every difficulty. The key to successful leadership is inspiration, not authority. Lead by helping people. The secret of success is to be ready when your opportunity comes. The successful man is one who had the chance and took it. I can, I will, and I am. There is no one giant step that does it. It's a lot of little steps. There is only one way to succeed in anything, and that is to give it everything. They can because they think they can. Those at the top of the mountain didn't fall there. To be a champion, you have to believe in yourself when nobody else will. To be successful, the first thing to do is fall in love with your work. To be successful, you must decide exactly what you want to accomplish. The concept is interesting and well formed, but in order to earn better than a C, the idea must be feasible. Federal Express Corp. Idea as college project. The secret of success is consistency of purpose. Benjamin Disraeli. The road to success is always under construction. The road to success runs uphill. The secret of business is to know something that nobody else knows. Aristotle. The abdomen, the chest, and the brain will forever be shut from the intrusion of the wise and humane surgeon. Sir John Eric Ericsson, British surgeon, 1873. The critical ingredient is getting off your butt and doing something. The dictionary is the only place where success comes before work. The future belongs to those who believe in dreams. The great end of life is not knowledge but action. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity. The secret to success is enthusiasm. The reward of a thing well done is to have done it. Ralph Waldo Emerson. There is only one success: to be able to spend your life in your own way. Most men succeed because they are determined. When they believe in themselves, they have the first secret of success. To climb steep hills requires a slow pace at first. Triumphs without difficulties are empty. We learn wisdom from failure much more than from success. There is no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. Ken Olsen, founder of Digital Equipment Corp. 1977. Think big. This telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. The device is inherently of no value to us. Western Union Memo, 1876. To move the world we must first move ourselves. Socrates. To guarantee success, act as if it were impossible to fail. Dorothea Brand. To conquer fear is the beginning of wisdom. Bertrand Russell. Treat employees fairly. Try to forget yourself in the service of others. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is a habit. We can do anything we want to do if we stick to it long enough. Helen Keller. We will either find a way, or make one. Hannibal. We don't like their sound, and guitar music is on the way out. Decca Recording Co. Rejecting the Beatles, 1962. We do our best that we know how at the moment. We grow great by dreams. All big men are dreamers. Woodrow Wilson. We must never be afraid to go too far, for success lies just beyond. Well done is better than well said. Benjamin Franklin. What we hope to do with ease, we must learn first to do with diligence. What you can do, or dream you can, begin it. Whatever you do, you need courage. When you're going through hell, keep going. Winners are the ones who listen to the truth of their hearts. Winners make a habit of manufacturing their own positive expectations. What would you do if you knew you would not fail? What the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Napoleon Hill. Who would pay for a message sent to nobody in particular? Early radio critics. Who the hell wants to hear actors talk? H.M. Warner, Warner Brothers, 1927. Will this matter a year from now? Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. Vincent Lombardi. You do not pay the price of success, you enjoy the price of success. You just can't beat the person who never gives up. Babe Ruth. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Inspirational business quotes 3. You can do it if you believe you can. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try. You must do the very thing you think you cannot do. Eleanor Roosevelt. You've got to win in your mind before you win in your life. A leader takes people where they want to go. Not tomorrow. Not next week. But today. If you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. Your success and happiness lie in you. Helen Keller. Money and business quotes. A truly kind person cannot be rich. A rich person, without question, is not a kind one. Chinese proverb. A rich man can't be good and kind, for if he becomes really good and kind, he will soon lose all his wealth. Acquire great wealth. Acquire few needs. An organization's ability to learn, and translate that learning into action rapidly, is the ultimate competitive advantage. Jack Welch. And so they grow richer and richer, and the more they think of making a fortune, the less they think of virtue, for when riches and virtue are placed together in the scales of balance, the one always rises while the other falls. Plato, 427 to 347 BC, The Republic, v. As the purse is emptied, the heart is filled. Victor Hugo. Average sex is better than being a billionaire. 60-year-old billionaire. Be wise enough not to wear yourself out trying to get rich. Your money can be gone in a flash as if it had grown wings and flown away like an eagle. Proverbs 23:4. But who is rich and sees his brother have need yet turns his heart away from them, how does the love of God live in him? My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue but in deed and truth. 1 John 3:17-18. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Matthew 6:19-21. Do not be conformed to this world. Romans 12:1-2. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. Matthew 6:19. Do it yourself, do it for less or do without. Even if you have 10,000 fields, you can eat no more than 1 measure of rice a day. Even if your house has 1,000 rooms, you can only use 8 feet of space a night. Chinese proverb. Every man is a consumer and ought to be a producer. He fails to make his place good in the world unless he not only pays his debt but also adds something to the commonwealth. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Wealth. Give and it will be given to you. Luke 6:38. Go and sell all you have and give the money to the poor and you will have riches in heaven, then come and follow me. Matthew 19:21. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. Eleanor Roosevelt. Happiness is not a matter of intensity but of balance, order, rhythm, and harmony. Thomas Merton. Happiness doesn't depend on any external conditions, it is governed by our mental attitude. Dale Carnegie. Happiness is not in the mere possession of money, it lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort. Franklin D. Roosevelt. He that loves silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loves abundance will be satisfied with increase. Ecclesiastes 5:10. How much is enough? Human worth does not lie in the riches or power, but in character or goodness. If people would only begin to develop this goodness, give of yourself, You can always give something even if it is only kindness. No one has ever become poor from giving. Diary of Anne Frank. I think there's a world market for about 5 computers. Thomas J. Watson, Chairman of IBM 1943. I have been poor and I have been rich. Believe me, rich is better. Sophie Tucker, 1884 to 1966. I'm richer than a tycoon. I have all I want and he doesn't. Idleness and luxury are not the path to happiness. If you see money as compensation for what you do, you lose the game of life. If money is the natural result of following your heart and doing whatever it is you do to make you happy, you win the game of life. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams, and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Henry David Thoreau. Put your investments in several places. Many places even, because you never know what kind of bad luck you are going to have in this world. Ecclesiastes 11:2. If a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take it away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. Sir Isaac Newton. If you have an income without working hard, then someone worked hard without receiving an income. Maimonides. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them. Henry David Thoreau. If a man who earns a fortune cannot use it to make his life easier and freer, then he gains nothing. James Boswell. If at first the idea is not absurd, then there is no hope for it. Albert Einstein. In short, the way to wealth, if you desire it, is as plain as the way to market. It depends chiefly on 2 words, industry and frugality, that is, waste neither time nor money, but make the best use of both. Without industry and frugality, nothing will do, and with them everything. Ben Franklin. Invest your money in foreign trade, and one of these days you will make a profit. Ecclesiastes 11:1. It is preoccupation with possession, more than anything else, that prevents people from living nobly and freely. Bertrand Russell. It's not about money, it's about how good, pure, and true you feel in your own skin without all that delusion surrounding you. It's easy enough to say, fill them, when your bank account has money. But the man worthwhile is the man who can smile when every damn cent is gone. It's better to live a rich life than to get rich and destroy yourself in the process. Know your purpose in life, grow to your maximum potential and sow seeds that benefit others. Let him who would move the world first move himself. Socrates. Money is like sex. If you don't have it, it's everything, but if you do, you enjoy your life. Therefore it's the greatest freedom of all, the freedom of financial security. Money reveals where our interests lie. It can direct our attitudes. It ever exposes us to the danger of worshipping it. And it represents value. Money not only talks, it screams. Leslie B. Flynn. Money is the foremost thing to seek, cash first and virtue afterwards. Horace. Most of our spending is done to forward our efforts to look like others. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Nothing can withstand the power of the human will if it is willing to stake its very existence to the extent of its purpose. Benjamin Disraeli. Nothing is more seductive and at the same time more deceitful than wealth. It is extremely troublesome to acquire, to keep, to spend, to lose. Hindu proverb. Of all the evils on the earth, money is the worst. Cicero. Opportunity is missed by most because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Thomas Edison. Over the years, it has been hard to be content. I am realizing now that it really doesn't matter. I have so much compared to so many others in other countries, states, and towns. I am blessed with other types of stuff. Each day I look at my husband, 2 daughters, and son. I know that I am blessed. I'm thankful for the house I have, the car I drive and the food I eat. At the end of each day, I realize again that I'm content and blessed with all my stuff. Sharon in book Financial Peace by Dave Ramsey. Simplicity may be hard, but the alternative, a complicated, ambitious lifestyle, is much worse. The almighty dollar, that great object of universal devotion throughout the land, seems to have no genuine devotees in these peculiar villages, and unless some of its missionaries penetrate there, and erect banking houses and other pious shrines, there is no knowing how long the inhabitants may remain in their present state of contented poverty. Washington Irving, The Creole Village, 1783–1859. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Martin Luther King, Jr. The goal. The past is history, the future is a mystery, this moment is a gift, that is why this moment is called the present. Enjoy it. The empires of the future are the empires of the mind. Sir Winston Churchill. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. For there is never want where the mind is satisfied. Lucretius. The greater danger is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. Michelangelo Buonarroti. The more a man has, the more he wants. Benjamin Franklin. The golden opportunity you are seeking is in yourself. It is not in your environment, it is not in luck or chance, or the help of others, it is in yourself alone. Orison Swett Martin. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela. The world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. William Wordsworth. The reason to have money is to tell any sob to go to hell. Humphrey Bogart. Then Jesus said unto his disciples, Verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. Matthew 19:23–24. There are two ways to get rich. There are two ways to get enough: work to accumulate more and more, or desire less. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have. Hebrews 13:5. There must be more to life than having everything. Rich Old Broad. There's no reason for any individual to have a computer in their home. Ken Olson, President, Digital Equipment Corp. 1977. To be rich, regardless of his fortune or lack of it, a man must live by his own values. If these values are not personally meaningful, then no amount of money gained can hide the emptiness of a life without them. J.P. Getty. To be content with little is difficult, to be content with much, impossible. Marie von Ebner Eschenbach, Aphorisms, 1893. To reach the port of heaven, we must sail sometimes with the wind and sometimes against it, but we must sail and not drift, nor lie at anchor. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Virtue does not come from money. From virtue comes money and every other good of man. Plato's Apology. Vision is the art of seeing things invisible. Jonathan Swift. Wealth is doing what you love. You can build wealth with a single stock if it's the right stock. When one door of happiness closes, another opens, but often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. Helen Keller. When someone shares something of value with you and you benefit from it, you have a moral obligation to then share it with others so they may benefit too. When I was young, I thought that money was the most important thing in life. Now that I'm old, I know that it is. Oscar Wilde. You will never get rich working for money. You have to make money work for you. Prosperity websites. Abraham Hicks Publications. Abraham-Hicks.com. Self-upliftment from our total self. Abundance consciousness. SmartWomeninvest.com. Abundance consciousness. Concept synergy / Lazarus. Lazarus.com. Pain and fear are not the only methods of growth, that you can more elegantly grow through joy and love. Effortless prosperity. Effortlessprosperity.com. The Fortune Virus. Fortunevirus.com. Wealth creation system. Money is energy. Moneyisenergy.com. Prosperity secrets. Topica.com/list/habits of wealth. Prosperity Place. ProsperityPlace.com. Help you get out of debt, earn more, begin to save and invest. Prosperity, freedom from debt slavery. ProsperityUK.com. Prosperity from the inside out. Spiritualpartnering.com. Qualities that attract / repel abundance. Orindaban.com/newsletter/attractabund.htm. Qualities that attract and repel money. Real abundance. Realabundance.com. World Finance Initiative. YesCareFirst.com. Create a flow of money based upon caring, sharing, loving, giving and receiving. Money and business quotes websites. BeverageInc.com/bizquote_code.htm. BizQTE.com. Motivationalquotes.com. cs.virginia.edu/tilde-robin/quotes.html. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/root_of_all_evil. Heartquotes.net/business.html. limunltd.com/numismatica/trivia/money-quotes.html. mbadepot.com/quotes/quotes.php. planware.org/quotes.htm. thinkexist.com/english/topic/x/topic_342_1.htm. useful-information.info/quotation/about_money.html. wisdomquotes.com/cat_money.html. whoopidoo.com, motivational business and finance e-zine with a selection of business quotes. whoopidoo.com/business_quotes/rich-quotes.htm. blog.fani.org/2006/05/26/money quote.